So it's the third electrical questions video because there's quite a lot of questions, and Cara's got a quite brief moment between shows to come and join us here. So we've got some more questions, which includes how far in advance do they start planning a tattoo? They're pretty much doing that already for next year, aren't they? They plan in really in advance. Am I allowed to say what the theme is for next year, do you reckon?
Oh, they probably haven't decided to release that yet. But,
right, okay.
Like the director and the production company are all discussing ideas, and then I think technical kind of get involved in January. I don't really know. That's
it all just starts. I mean,
they come up with a show.
They come up with a show during the year. That they start. They've got ideas now based on what happened this year and stuff like that. But then it will gradually evolve, and then we'll get little bits of information through about what's happening as it goes through the year. Which one of you got an electric shocks experience?
Who doesn't?
Well, who doesn't? When you work with electricity, you know, just ignore this health and safety thing that, you know, nobody should ever work live. Well, the only way you can troubleshoot in some electrical equipment is when the power's on, and there are industries, including the events industry, where if you're working outdoors with electrical equipment, then unusual current paths happen, leakage, wet connectors, you get tingles, not
I never get
full
huge
on,
shocks.
not
I would never work
shocks.
in anything where I think I'm going to get really, really hurt.
But you do get little things that, like, oh yeah, that's
especially when the
not
rain
good.
happens a lot here.
Yes, which does happen an extra lot here. Yeah. Ooh. What's the biggest disaster any team's had to deal with during the performance? How did they turn it around? So, disasters. I can think of one disaster, and that was when it wasn't a disaster as such. We lost all our discharge lights, the VL5s, because something happened, and the power to the whole stadium just dipped and came back up again. It didn't go right out.
God, that was like 10 years ago?
That was a long time ago, because that was the old stands. And what happened was that it turned out that a large chunk of Edinburgh went off. It went pitch black at the same time. And what happened, there'd been a huge electrical fall, and it had caused the whole grid to dip in the neighbourhood. And because the discharge lamps, if you turn them off, they take a while to re-strike. So what happened then was the show went on with the power cans, which the power cans are fine. They just run the dimmers all the time. But if you recall, the lights just gradually came back one by one, and then the show just continued. The other thing we've had...
I also remember, that one was the DMX or something. It was a terrible rainstorm, just like sheet rain, and everything got absolutely soaked, and then the data for everything got corrupted, and then all the smoke machines just switched on, and the castle just disappeared in smoke.
That was I'm trying to remember what caused that. The Vince, you're very, very naughty. But then that's Vince.
Have we had this in the video yet?
Who put the kettle on? Turn the kettle off, turn the kettle off, please. You can turn it on afterwards. That's alright. Smoke machines, we had an incident. Do you remember the linebacker incident, Vince?
Yes.
When the linebacker decided to turn on all the smoke machines itself, for some reason. It was the backup to the desk, and it just suddenly decided that all the smoke machines...
It was actually buffering the refresh rate for the city colours, because they didn't like the refresh rate of the DMX. It was redoing it. That was the only reason that was there.
Remember the city colours?
Yeah.
And if they lost DMX at all, and the lighting desk at the time was occasionally just losing DMX, it was doing an update thing in the background, then it would just put the DMX off for a while. And most lights would hold that, but these city colours, they were designed as theatrical fixtures, so they'd just go white. That was their default. If they lost DMX, they just went full white.
And that was what was happening at the same time as the smoke machines all going on, so it was like the whole thing was white.
Yep, the linebacker was supposed to ride over that, but it burped. It burped and turned all the smoke machines in the castle and smoked the whole castle out uncontrollably. We were all like, oh no! And Cara was running to one bit and I was running to another bit. This is so naughty. We should sack him, except he's the boss. So
no, I know, we wouldn't have a job then.
Question to the crew. Have you ever dealt with a lighting fixture suffer a major failure during the show? Yes.
You videoed it.
Well, there's that one that went bang and blew out its optics.
Shattered. Yeah.
Oh, do you remember one of the old the Strand followspots? And we were just... the show was running, and because we can hear it, we're actually slightly further away from the auditorium because we're on the other side of this sort of they've got the control room is the other side of this corridor, and then we are in the sort of the back, literally backstage.
Yeah.
But all we heard in the distance was this followed by.
With the stand follows. I can't remember that.
The discharge lamp had exploded, and it was really loud. And then the follow spot operator screamed, and there's nothing you can do.
Was this in like the old fiberglass?
Oh my god! Oh yes, those days. And the old we had strand follow spots, but nothing worked in them. They'd been a conversion. You couldn't even pull a focus on them, could you? Because the lamp. Remember how much time we spent.
There's like fins that go like this as well. Oh, you mean the lenses as well? There would only be like one massive lens.
And the crunchy irises.
Yes, you could never switch them off because like the fins inside would bend.
Closed the iris, and all you got was it looked like a piece of a jigsaw puzzle.
And then the blackout thing on the front that sometimes had a hole in it.
Yeah, they were terrible. I'm so glad we're rid of them.
Yeah. We should have one in here for like.
I know it's kind of memories. Not memories we want to repeat, but memories nonetheless. Major failure during a show. That's a good example of that. But if one of the lights fails, we can't go and change a whole fixture. We can try and do basic maintenance, but because a lot of the lights are above the audience's head, we don't get to do that.
No, I know. We also have lots, so that there's like always like a spare, and it's like people aren't really going to notice if one goes out.
If one goes down, it's like
that's the whole point of having lots of lights. Yeah.
Biggest accidental bang.
Accident.
I think that was part of our electrical distribution equipment. We were all sitting in the control room eating biscuits, I think, at the time, as one does. And suddenly half the stadium just went out, and it was just before the show, and it's like, when that happens, it's like, what the heck's happened? I'm on the light desk, no, rush down, see if there's power, no, power's out to the whole side. So we all split to different positions. You came up onto the gantry, we went to the control room, Keith went over to the main substation and found that a fault had tripped all the way back to our substation on that side.
That was when it was down in Cannonball House, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was the newsstands, and it was the first major failure we had like that.
And the trips were I remember.
The whole row of trips had gone up.
Yeah.
It turned out that the panel had been delivered with a pre-existing fault. One of the socket packs had at some point flashed over the back. And do you remember the time water got down inside one?
Yeah, well, I thought they had, when you put water down, there was this
puddle creeping out from underneath the equipment.
Yeah.
Because the water got in a damaged cable and had come down inside the cable into the control room and then seeped out. That must have been what happened with that. Socket.
I don't think I ever ended up seeing it. Was it Tim that went and fixed it? And it was probably all like welded together.
We ended up Tim was actually switched them on because I was far too wise to get involved in that. So Tim switched it all, and he actually yelled when it went bang, and you saw the flames come out the front of it. And then we decided not to use that module after that. And because when something like that happens, we didn't want to leave until we could have gone.
So when you had the heat gun out as well, and you were watching it, or was that something else?
I think that was something else. But we decided we had a wee discussion and said we could come in tomorrow and we can troubleshoot this, but you don't want to go home and not know what the problem is the next day. So we all went down and we took the rack apart and that's when we found a big skid mark in the back, and that resolved that. Next question: where do you guys work? You're the only one who kind of lives some of the time in Edinburgh.
Well, no, my only job is this job in Edinburgh. I have a flat here, but and I say that Edinburgh's like my holiday home, but my partner lives in Manchester, so I work there quite a lot. I do a lot of jobs in London. I used to tour international around Europe, but I don't really do that anymore.
Are you doing X Factor next?
I'm doing that.
Is that coming up?
Yeah.
Right, okay. You do that quite a lot, don't you?
I've done that for about 8 years now.
Yeah. Prestigious jobs. It's quite a fashionable job at the moment.
Well, sell my soul for big TV stuff.
That's it, exactly. Just think of the cash.
Owns you.
Yeah.
That's it. That won't be allowed in the video now. We just said all those names.
No, it's fine. So the answer is, where do you guys work? And the answer is actually everywhere.
Yeah,
and that means anywhere in the world.
As long as you can live near a train station or an airport, you can just do whatever.
That's it. That's what's required. Are you all freelancers, contractors, or do you work for companies? If you contract freelance, was it the standard recruiting company introduction? See, we are all freelance, but we've never used it. It tends to go by word of mouth.
Yeah, well,
I
a
think-
lot of our job is who you work with, and if you get on working well in a team, and then if you like that, then the person will employ you the next time, and it's a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
But like freelance, I think most of us here are freelance, but like the sound department are contracted through the tattoo company.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and then like I think it just depends on how the production company wants to employ you a lot of the time.
But Moose Owen, he is still a freelance, isn't he?
He is a freelancer, but he's
uh,
working for the company.
For that other company,
No,
right?
for the tattoo company just now.
Yeah.
I think.
One of the sayings is you're only as good as your last job.
Yeah, when
That's it. That really applies, unfortunately, to the entertainment industry. If we screw up, we might lose the job.
you
It's
get
just how
known
it
for
is. Yeah.
You're known for like blowing things up, but you still
Yes, I
get
am, but I do it deliberately. And final question
Final question.
for you is Blackjacks or fruit salads?
Still fruit salad.
I like fruit salad.
Oh,
Sorry.
everybody, everybody's saying fruit salad. I'm feeling in the minority here. So,
Did you go off something? I think
Yeah,
Keith's
yeah.
on something.
okay, so,
Go for Keith. Can you pause that?
alright, that's okay.
I'm just wondering whether you had any conversations with Steve about this band stage tomorrow.
Oh,
Last I heard was that they weren't going to take it up, like lift it up. We have to de-rig everything off the side, but maybe that'll be different for you guys.
it's the D-rig tomorrow.
No, that's what I got for it yesterday. Keith was going to have a chat with him today. I don't know if he could come up with a better arrangement to bring it up.
I haven't heard anything different yet, but maybe he is still yet to have that conversation.
Okay, thanks, Cara.
Yeah, we're de-rigging the
Is that
show.
part of the video too?
Yeah, we're de-rigging the show tomorrow, so we're just certain things. We're just trying to optimise it for the sound department and convenience, the light department convenience. It's just we have to sort of try and plan it so everything happens smoothly because we do have a very short time. Literally after the show's finished, Cara will take a team, I'll take a team, and we'll just Steve and
So
Keith.
hopefully we won't be working too late tonight.
It'll be-
but
yeah.
we all work with groups of
It'll
people.
be pretty
to-
much 2 days, and at the end we'll be just putting it in the lorry at the second day, and the whole show will be gone. Everything will be back in the lorry.
Did you ask me a question? I completely forgot what it was.
I did ask. It was the fruit
Fruit
salad
salad.
question. So I'm going to add in a little bit to the end of this video. I'm going to add. I'm going to go through and ask Steve how long it takes to build and dismantle the stands because he's the guy who actually does that. It seems appropriate given that the next thing that happens after we've de-rigged. Tomorrow they'll start dismantling the stands. They'll start by taking the seats out while we are taking all the lights and stuff away.
I think they start at the end of May. Because although I don't really work here very
The
often,
construction of it.
I like coming up to the Esplanade when there's
right,
nothing
okay.
here. Do you ever come up here?
I've not been a long
It's
time.
just so weird because like when
'Cause
it's flat land, it looks like such a big space.
Yeah.
But then when they build the stands on top of it,
Most people don't realise that the tattoo stands are just custom built. We actually both had a hand, all the lighting department had a hand in the design of them because they were optimised for our use because it makes our life easier if they're designed with us in mind. So they are designed with us in mind, and we put our mark on them. So I'll go through and I'll ask Steve now about the time it takes to build and disassemble the stands because that's fitting because that ties in with the fact that we've just mentioned that we're de-rigging tomorrow, and that's when he'll start dismantling the stands and send them to storage. So I'm going to go through to Steve now. So another of the questions was, how long does it take to build and dismantle the stands? And the best person to answer that is Steve, who is you're in charge of that, aren't you?
I am indeed, Senior
Yeah.
Project Manager.
So how long does it take to build and then dismantle these stands?
It takes 40 days to erect the whole stadium and 38 days to do the dismantle.
All right, which is quite fast, isn't it? It's quite impressive for something that looks so permanent as this. The other question is, Blackjacks or fruit salad?
Oh, fruit salad at the minute.
Fruit salad. Everybody else is saying, but am I just the only person who likes Blackjacks? That's just, I'm feeling outnumbered here. That's
Salad.
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently that is the common choice.